Hey guys, it's Chris here. I've been coasting in my online business for the past 3 months, and this is how it's benefited me. So, let me first take you back in time to, I think it was like September or October last year, 2023. And I had just had my biggest month ever in online business. I'd made $25,000 US dollars in 1 month, around 18K from my marketing agency, and then another 7K or so from my coaching business that I recently had started. And more details on this on another video. But, anyways, fast tracking forward to coming into the new year of 2024. Um, if you know my story, you know that I was kind of done with my marketing agency at that point. I I had basically, in an ironical way, you kind of get what you're wishing for. I had achieved all the like what I had dreamed of, and what I had set out in terms of goals about 5 years ago to achieve financial, location, and time freedom. And here I was, having achieved that. I was making good money, 18K with my marketing agency. I was living in Bali, and I could travel and kind of work from wherever I wanted to, whether that was Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, yeah, around the Asian countries. And I also had the time freedom checked off, where usually I would be working with somewhere between like the 4 hour work week up until like maybe 10 hours or so per week. So life was good. And I just ended up facing this kind of like luxury problem in a way, where I started waking up like continuously waking up in the mornings week after week, and not feeling completely excited about what I was doing. And reflecting back upon it, let's say I had like 12 ecom clients at the time. Maybe only like 4 out of those 12 was actually exciting and fun to work with. The other 8 just felt like a financial transaction, so to speak. And yeah, I wasn't looking forward to any of the client calls or doing any client delivery there. I was just doing because it was a financial transaction. And even though we were providing great results, the CMOs and the CFOs was always demanding more, like, great results, but we want more kind of thing. Anyways, so I was kind of letting go of the marketing agency a little bit. Like, I had in mind that I obviously wanted it to keep on going as a good cash flow business, as I was transitioning into coaching. And I had just invested into a mentor to help me do that. And I had signed my first couple of clients in my coaching business and get a couple of paid in full for my coaching programs. But here I was, and beginning of 2024, uh, a bunch of clients was ending the contracts because, their contracts were coming to an end at the end of the year. And I wasn't really energetically there, so I wasn't trying to to do a lot to make them stay either. And I was fine with that because my mentor at the time had done a similar journey. He had scaled a agency to, I think it was like 60K a month. And he had gotten the advice from his mentor to to go like, hey, okay, you're not passionate about the agency anymore and you want to do this coaching business. Maybe what if you just sort of like shut down your agency and leaves more space for the coaching? Because at the end of the day, it's like time freedom is one thing, but if you don't have mental real estate available, it's hard to focus fully and, yeah, give your full focus to what you're currently doing. So that was my mindset at the time. So my 18K that was peaking in like September, October last year dropped down to like 8K. So that's more than half. It just halved in the middle there. And that was a you know interesting time, as you can imagine, of like, okay, like, oof, revenue is dropping massively, and that felt weird, with my performance anxiety, I suppose. But I just tried to ignore that. But then what happened? I remember. I think it was end of January, and it was 26th of January specifically. I received an email with the news that from my accountant that, hey, you're due to pay 143,000 Swedish crowns in taxes, which is around $14,000. And yeah, that was a shock. And then on top of that, the next very day, I got another email from her. Actually, it's another 70,000 Swedish crowns. So in a matter of a few days, I realized that I had to pay $21,000 to the Swedish tax government, and that was money that I didn't have. And I had like 5K saved up in my personal bank account, uh, and because I had just paid a lot to my mentor and invested into certain things and stuff like that, so I hadn't been managing my cash flow too well. So I didn't have the money, and I kind of went into this panic mode. Um, Panic mode for a couple of days, that kind of thing where you're like sleeping, you're waking up like multiple times during the night and just fucking sweating, and like, yeah, your thoughts are just spiraling in negative things. I was like, fucking hell, I really fucked up here. And how am I gonna pay off this debt? And trying to figure things out with my accountant and looking like, where do I have cash flows? And yeah, I managed to see like I have around 10K saved in my, or that I could liquidate in terms of stocks. I had the 5K in savings. I had the 8K in revenue coming in on a monthly basis, but around like 6K of that was like actual profit. And I just tried to cut expenses wherever I could. I had to let go of a team member or two. uh, Cleaned up softwares, cleaned up all kinds of expenses that I had, and stuff like that. And I also ended up being able to borrow money from my dad, around 5K or so, and told him that, in the next 30 days I will be paid again, and then I can pay you back. So, but yeah, that was a period of my life that I sort of consider like one of the toughest periods of my entrepreneurial journey, because I thought I had fucked up so bad that, fuck, my mind was going like, I had to go back to Sweden. And my parents, they 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 love me, they want the best of me, but yeah, they just kept on sending these messages and calls as well of like, hey, you need to come back to Sweden, you need to get a regular job because what you're doing over there is clearly not working, and like, when are you going to get your life together? And like, Jesus. um so yeah, that was one of the toughest periods in my entrepreneurial journey. And why am I telling you this? So stick with me for a little bit longer, and I will get to the point here that I don't know what that time was in my life. Call it just complete panic mode. But for a while there, I got into hustle mode. I tried to get a few more clients, coaching clients in specific, and I did whatever I could to like, yeah, give great client results, keep cash flow coming for another 3 months or so to pay off the debt. And I didn't do anything at all than just client delivery, making sure I had stable income from the clients I still had, and did close to nothing to get any new clients. And after that, I had paid off my debt in like April or something. Now I felt like, fucking hell, ready to relax. And I just wanted to be. And I didn't know it at the time, but this was a season I was going into called the Yogi season. So apparently there's 4 seasons. I learned this recently. 4 seasons of life, or 4 seasons of the entrepreneur kind of thing. And the first one you have is the creator. And the creator is about ideation, it's about content creation, like I'm doing now, video, lead generation, lead nurture, and conversion. Then you have the mentor. And the mentor is all about like client delivery and client retention, you mentoring. Then you have the builder. The builder is about, strategical stuff, the long-term view and vision and plan. It's about making systems better in your business. It's kind of like you're lifting the hood of the car and you're taking a look inside and like, how are things here? Does something need oil? Does something need tweaks here, repairment, um, bookkeeping, etc. That's the builder. Then you have the yogi, and the yogi is about a lot of self-care, uh, physical, emotional, mental health, and basically the inner work, the inner game. And was the period where I was coasting for the past 3 months. I've been in the yogi season, and that has really suited me well, where I gotten a lot of clarity, um, a newfound hunger and excitement for what kind of business and business model I want to build that is actually gonna serve my desired lifestyle in every way. You know, having fun with all the clients I'm working with, be exciting about that, and having less stress in my life. Those two things that I didn't have the year before with my marketing agency. Um, so I want you to think about what season you are in specific. And kind of like the point I want to make with this video is we need to make a conscious and intentional decision about what season we're going to be in. And sometimes it's actually beneficial to be in this yogi season, to be coasting with your business. Because you might be coasting with your business and not building out systems and doing this and that, but you might be reflecting, journaling, meditating, or doing any other kind of self-care daily routines that is good for your well-being. And because you're in well-being and taking care of yourself, you tend to kind of like regulate your nervous system, to use some other languages, and be more flow scaling. Because if you're grinding and hustling and working hard all the time, that tend to be a state where you're not in a high vibrational frequency. Rather, you're in a low one, because you're operating from a place of stress, maybe from a place of greed, from a place of like hustle and forcing, and yeah, it's not a nice place to be in for significant period of time. Like you can go in, you can make a conscious and intentional decision that, hey, I'm gonna go into a monk mode now for like 60, 90 days, and I'm gonna be super focused. I'm gonna be in builder phase, right? But other phases and seasons, you gotta be in the yogi phase, because that's when you get in a good state and things comes more effortlessly and creativity is flowing, and so to speak. So to wrap up this video, that's the message of the video. Think about the four different seasons: the creator, the mentor, the builder, and the yogi. And yeah, I want you to think about what season are you in. And if you want, give it a comment below. Tell me what season you're in and why. Um, and for me personally, I'm soon gonna go into a builder phase, because I've been in the yogi phase now, like I said, for 3 months. It's really benefited me in many, many ways. I got so much clarity and newfound inspiration and motivation and hunger for, and drive to keep on growing my business now soon. So I'm gonna go into builder season here in, probably the middle of August, and really get things going with the systems in my business and improving things. So yeah, that's all for this video, and I'll see you in another one, guys.